Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with just a tidbit of PR news that kind of fell by the wayside. There's been a lot of various news and videos going on, and this just kind of went under my radar and was something I just recently saw, and I wanted to talk about it briefly. And that is a new Ranger that's coming to the comics, a new Ranger design that's coming from the MMPR TMNT crossover, which is Ranger X, which the picture should be up now or sometime nowish by future me editing this. And overall, I think it's a really cool looking design. I dig it a lot. I think it's really neat. It's actually really funny because when I first saw this image, I sort of saw it without context, and I thought it was going to have something to do with like Ecliptor for some reason, or the villains, or Dark Spectre. I don't know why. There's something very villainous looking about it, and I didn't know when I first saw it that it was TMNT related, so my mind wasn't trying to connect it. But then once I knew that, it seems fairly obvious it's going to be Casey Jones's Ranger form since he didn't get one in the proper crossover. But this is neat. I really dig it. I'm actually pretty stoked for the MMPR TMNT crossover. I really did like the hybrid designs and concepts that we got in that crossover, both because they were just cool to see and I liked them, but I also liked that it made sense for the plot. Like, yeah, it was fan servicey, but I think they did a pretty good job of weaving it into the story so it made sense and it didn't feel like, hey, we're just doing this to do it. They actually felt like they tried to weave it into the plot as best as possible, and I think they did a good job with that. And you guys know me, I'm really like sick of crossovers, and I was only excited for the original one based on the fact that it was more PR content, and it was surprisingly good. So I'm like really stoked for this one, and I'm stoked to see if we get any more, and I'm sure we will get some more hybrid designs. I think that's something really cool to look forward to, and I like what I see so far from this one. I personally really dig it. I get a feeling there's a very good chance we could see a Lightning Collection figure announcement for this fairly soon. Only just predicting that because we just recently did the other TMNT ones, and actually I think it would be kind of cool to have whatever Ranger forms come out of this have figures that come out closer to when it came out, because, you know, before we had it come out and then, or the comic, I mean, and then the figures came out quite a bit later, but since now we know this is coming out and we have a precedent for them selling TMNT crossover figures, I think it would be cool to loosely sync it up just to kind of have this cross promotion and excitement. Kind of like how, I'm sure it was intentional on some level, but I thought it was neat that the release of the metallic figures for MMPR kind of synced up with the metallic forms making their debut in the Mighty Morphin continuity, and then also in the comic continuity, I mean, and then also they showed that Andros stealth form in the comics like a little bit after the toy came out, and I thought there was kind of a cool synergy with that. I don't want it to become on the level of like Rider Sentai Toku where it's detrimental and they have this weird like thing where they have to line it up exactly, but I like the idea of that cross promotion, and I think that would be cool to do that. Not to mention I already like this character, and I'd like a figure of it, and I'd probably want any figures of the hybrid designs we could get. Also, just a random note, it's called Ranger X. It's funny because I always imagined, just as a side note, that if we ever adapted Loop Pat, that Ranger X would be a good name for Lupin X. I mean, whew, creative muscles there, Dawson. But just, I thought that would be a cool name for him because his name is Lupin X, but then he has the transfer. I don't know. I just thought about that when I saw it. But anyways, what do you guys think of this design? Let me know in the comments. What other types of hybridized designs would you like to see in the upcoming crossover? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.